Well, g'day, and welcome back again to Jiao Qing. And today we are answering a question that we got. Well, actually, it was in response to another comment on another video. Steve Warren 06D says, "I see you using the footpath width on your bike." I don't think we need the width. I see you using the footpath on your bike. Can you give a brief review of your mode of transport, how far you can travel, and how you recharge it? So I got that and I thought, okay, I bought my bike pretty much a year ago, just over a year ago. So I thought we'd do a little review on the bike after a year and talk about how it's worked out, how it's all gone for me. So we whip the camera around here. We see the bike down here. We're parked down here. We've actually come out here because we've got a recharging station here. There's lots of bikes to look at. So we're going to have a look at a few things here. So the bike has been very, very good. I'm very, very happy with it. So we might give you a little look at the bike. So when I first bought the bike, we did a video on buying the bike, but I didn't know a lot about it. So let's chuck the key in down here and give you a look at what we've got on here. So left handlebar, actually let's start on the right. So we've got headlights here. Here we can change the mode. So we see here at the moment, we're on mode 2. I don't know how well you can see that reflection. But we hit that, we've got mode 3, mode 1. So mode 1 is the lowest power usage. That is limited to 25 kph, kilometers per hour. I normally ride around on mode 1. At the moment we can see we've got the P up here, means it's in park. When you hit the brakes, that will come out and then you can ride. When you've got the P on, you can't ride, which was one thing I had when I first arrived, or not when I first arrived, when I first got the bike. I didn't quite realize that. I pulled up at stoplight somewhere, waited for a while. After a little while of not riding, this will turn to P again. And it did that while I was stopped at the traffic lights. And I went to take off when the lights turned green and the bike wouldn't go. And I'm thinking, oh shit, what have I done? What's gone wrong here? After a couple of minutes, I figured out what was going on. On the left handlebar, we have the horn here. We have indicators, we have hazard lights, we have high and low beam for your headlights. So yeah, it's got everything you need really. If we look down inside here, we have a little USB port here, which you can plug your phone in if you want to charge your phone up. What else have we got on here? We've got the top box on the back, which, I need. License plate on the back. So, if you buy one of these, they are meant to be licensed. Any electric bike is meant to have a license plate on. That gives you insurance. It's only minimal insurance, but yeah, in case you do have an accident. The only thing I've added to the bike is the top bar along here to attach phone holder and 360 camera holder, which we've got the 360 camera on now. We are going to go for a little bit of a ride in a little while and film on that while we ride around and talk a little bit more, but that's for later. And mirrors, which, looking around here, a lot of the e-bikes don't have mirrors on. I would want mirrors. So yeah, the bike's done very well. The only complaint I would have about it is a little bit too small for me. Normally I sit right back on the back of the seat, so I'm sort of stretched out a bit. But if I've got a backpack on my back with the top box, I have to sit further forward, and it does get uncomfortable if you're riding a fair distance. The distance we get. So I use this. One of the reasons I use this is to ride, so I don't have to catch a school bus. I can ride from our school here in Duanzhou out to our Dinghu campus. That's 42 kilometers. So we can see on the battery bars here, we have 5 bars. When I go out to the school, I lose 1 bar. So 42 kilometres gets you down to here. Thing is, going from here to here happens very, very quickly. I don't think I've ever gone below 3 bars. I get it back and get it charged up very quickly. I normally ride on setting 1 because normally I'm not in a rush to get anywhere, so I don't have to go quick. And it gives you more battery. If I put onto mode 2 to ride out to school, I will go down to 3 bars by the time I get to the school, so it does use more electricity. And then mode 3 is faster still, but again, uses your electricity much, much quicker. What else did we want to talk about that? Oh, the other thing, so these bikes are legally only allowed to do 25 kilometres per hour. They don't. They go much quicker. So this, so when I bought this, they asked me if I wanted to unlock the bike so I could go quicker, and I said, no, 25 kilometres per hour is fine with me. I don't need to go quicker than that. I very quickly realised that what they actually meant was unlocking the speedo, because the speedo will only go up to 25 kilometres per hour. It doesn't measure any quicker than that. But I have been out riding with Tony. I think we got up to about 46 kilometres per hour. So, yeah, when you get up into mode 3, it does go much, much quicker. Okay, recharging. How do I recharge it? When I go out to the school, we have a recharging station, much like this one here, which we'll go and have a look at in a minute. When I am at home, so there's a couple of different types of bike you can buy. You can buy them like this here. If we look down at this blue bike here, we can see the battery in here. You can actually take that battery out, take it up to your apartment with you and recharge it like that. Those bikes generally have a smaller battery and don't get as much range. I had one of them years back. It was just a pain in the ass, so I got rid of that one. It was easier just to be on my push bike. With this, you can't take the batteries out. So if you're on a ground floor or maybe a second floor, you run a lead out of your window and charge it up through there. If you are higher than that, you need to find somewhere you can charge up. So in my case, I'm only on the second floor, but I actually charge up in the guard shack of my school. So I don't actually have to pay for my electricity there. The school lets me do that. It also means my bike's parked near the security gate, so I've got someone watching my bike all the time, which, you know, I like that idea of having somebody actually helping take care of things for me. It's very, very good. What else can I tell you about the bike? It's been really good. I've had it for a year now. Oh, the one other thing, with the colder weather lately, the battery does seem to run down quicker. It just feels that way. I might be wrong. I might be just thinking that and not realising how far I'm riding. I'd have to actually take it out and do a full range test. Like I say, I've never gone down below 3 bars. I really should go out sometime, which I'll probably do once the weather gets a bit warmer, and go out for a long ride and run the battery right down to 0, just to see how it all goes. So what we might do is take you for a little wander around the corner here, and we'll just go and have a look at this charging station, so that this is the other way that you can charge up. So this is what I do when I go out to Dinghu. We've got a charging station out at our school. So to turn our camera back around here, we can see lots and lots of power points along here. So you basically come over, you scan the QR code here with your WeChat, and that will link you directly to this power point. You pay the money and plug your bike in and charge away. The one problem I have with these things is, as we look along here, this charging station here is completely full. And we see from the end here, not plugged in, not plugged in, not plugged in, not plugged in. Have we got any bikes on this side actually charging? No, none of them. So if you come along and you need your bike charging, you're going to struggle to find somewhere to actually plug in. If you come back on the other side, we do actually have more bikes plugged in here, which is good. For me, if you're not charging your bike, don't park here. It's that simple. So the types of bikes you can buy as well, let's have a look along a few of these. So mine is a Tail G. These are AA. I don't know what the AA stands for. So quite stylish looking bikes. They look all right. Here's a Tail G here, different style to mine. As you can see on the back of this here, we have these extra foot places down here, which we'll go back and have a look at my bike in a minute. But remember those little foot plates. So these are purely electric. Then we get over to things like this, which have pedals on the side. So if you do run out of battery, you can actually pedal your bike. Another one here with pedals on. So would I recommend buying one? If you're coming here to live, yes, I would. They are great bikes. They're cheap, relatively cheap to run. They you don't need a license to ride them, so you do need to get them licensed, the bike licensed, but you are meant to be able to do that as a foreigner. But I had trouble finding someone who actually knew how to do that. I know you can, I've checked online, it's all possible, but nobody seemed to know how to actually do that. The other thing is, I know, we'll get onto that when we go for a ride. So lots of different types of bikes. If you're coming here to live, it's worthwhile. If you're coming here to visit, you might be better off with something like this. These yellow bikes are just push bikes, which again, you can scan the QR code on the back and hire these bikes. They're very, very cheap. So these are just a push bike. And then if we come over the other side here, these green ones are actually pedal assisted push bikes. Same thing, you scan the QR code and away you go. I haven't actually ridden one of these. I should blooming get on one of these pedal assisted bikes and try them out one day. One day we'll do that. What else can we tell you about these that's worth knowing? Now, most of the rest we'll talk about once we get out onto the road. We'll do that now. We're going to head... Actually, no, we're not. Right, we showed you that bike with the foot plates on the back. This is another thing you want to think about when buying one of these bikes is where are you going to ride? So you'll see I don't have foot plates on the back of mine for a pillion passenger. I got offered them. There are foot plates that sort of slide in under this cover here and then go back into this cover and they come out a bit wider. So one of the things I wanted to do with my bike is ride over to Gaoyao, over the bridge on the footpath. The problem with the footpath is you have these, bollards like this. And the widest bollard going over the bridge to Gaoyao leaves a gap of 45 centimetres. My bike, as is 43 centimetres. If I'd put on them foot plates, I would have to ride over that bridge on the roadway, which sometimes is okay, but other times it's not okay. It's very, very, especially rush hour sort of time, it gets very, very busy. So I told them, no, don't worry about putting them on. I want to be able to get over that footbridge. So yeah, Mr. Tony, his bike, he's actually got them foot plates on, and he would have to ride up on the road to get over that bridge. I don't know what the other bridges are like. They're a bit further from me. I don't use them so much. But yeah, one of the reasons I bought this bike, there was another one I was looking at, but it was a little bit wider and it was a little bit too wide, so I went with this one, which I was more than happy with. I quite like this one anyway. I actually had, there was two I was looking at, and the young girl in the shop whose parents own the shop, I've known her for years and years, since she was a tiny little thing. And I actually said to her, through my translator, which bike do you like best? Which one should I buy? And she pointed at this one and said, right, I'm buying this one then. They were both much the same engine, same batteries, just different designs. But the other one was that wider one. So I was glad she picked this one because I was going to go that way anyway. Okay, so we are now going to jump on the bike and take you for a little ride out on the road and just talk about what riding around this place is like. So yeah, stick with us. We'll just get our helmet on, get rid of this camera, get the other camera operating, and we'll be back with you. Okay, so we're back with you. I hope there's not too much wind noise coming through this microphone. But here we are, we're out on the road. So places like this, I generally ride on the road, just because the footpaths are a bit more cramped and there's not so many people around. It's not so much of a problem being on the road. One thing you do want to watch riding here is a lot of roads don't have, well, most roads don't have stop signs. So yeah, you have to watch other traffic, know when it's safe to go, when it's not safe to go. If you do come here and you buy one of these bikes, when you first start off, I'd say be very, very careful. Sort of coming from another country, you're used to different rules, different ways of you know, using the roads, different what's the word, like different road customs or road whatever, you know what I mean. So yeah, you do have to be aware of other things. So quiet road like this, I'm normally on the road. Busier roads, I tend to stick to the footpath. It is legal to ride bikes on the footpath here, not just push bikes or electric bikes, but motorbikes you see on the footpaths all the time. A lot of roads with the gates in between so that you can't sort of do U-turns and stuff. If a motorbike needs to go somewhere that's going to be on the wrong side of the road, he'll just switch over when he can right on the footpath. So, you know, you have to watch what you're doing, because it is a different set of rules to what I'm used to in Australia. It can get frustrating at times because you sort of expect the people to do things your way, especially like I've been on the road driving for many years, and it becomes second nature. And when you go somewhere new, you have to get used to different ideas, different things. What else do we want to tell you about? So, other riders, most riders I encounter are actually pretty good, but there are some that do frustrate me. The food delivery guys, they're just mental. They ride fast, they take a lot of risks that I wouldn't be willing to take. Oh, that motorbike's wide enough for us. Which you could complain about, but then on the other side, people have ordered food. They want their food to get to where it's getting to while it's still hot. So yeah, it's just the way it is. There's two sides to that story. I was actually talking to someone the other day about that. and I was talking about I'd run into a food delivery guy, and this person I was talking to said, oh yeah, but the people who are waiting for their food, they're happy that he rides quick. So yeah, depends on what your circumstance is as to whether you'd be happy at how they ride. All right, we're going to hold up behind these guys here for a minute because we've got a couple of cars behind us. Another thing that a lot of people don't do here is use mirrors. So we got an electric bike behind us there. I could see these cars coming up behind me, so I knew not to swing out past them cyclists. She was just going to swing out straight past me. There's a few people in the park there today. That's looking good. Yeah, road awareness here seems to be secondary to anything else. I'm constantly checking my mirrors all the time. I like to know what's around me, what's in front of me, what's behind me, what's beside me. We had a thing when I did my motorbike riding license in Australia. It was RIMS, which is road position, instruments, mirrors, and scan. And you do that constantly. Look at your road position, look at your instruments, check your mirrors, and then scan the road. And there's none of that here. I do tend to ride fairly defensively. I did a bit of defensive riding training back in Australia. I do tend to apply that a fair bit here, which I think makes people wonder, because they don't really see much of that here. But just putting myself in positions where they sort of have to take note, they can't sort of they can't squirt past me if there's only a small gap. They have to wait. But that's, what are you comfortable riding? And that's a large part of the reason why on a busier road I'm generally on the footpath. Depends on how busy the roads are. The busier roads, if they are quiet at the time, I'll be on the road. I do tend to ride on the road when I can, because I do like to get away from pedestrians, because some of the pedestrians can be just as bad as some of the bike riders. Just that awareness thing, being aware of what's going on around you. It is different rules here. For example, you look at the intersection ahead of us, cars just pulling out in front of oncoming traffic. In Australia, that would be illegal. You'd get in trouble for doing that. Here, that's the way it does. That's the way they do it. So it is different rules. If you're in an accident and you're the one sort of coming up from behind, you should have seen the person in front of you. It's very different rules from in Australia. So while I might bitch and moan about things, I bitch and moan about them because I have my interpretation, my understanding of how to ride or drive or whatever. And when I do bitch and moan about it, I normally stop and go, well, yeah, okay, it's me that's in a different place with different rules. I might not like the rules because I'm not used to them, but it's not my country. The other, wow, she's got a flat tire on the back of her bike. The other thing that sort of gets up my goat, we don't have on this road, on this footpath here, but a lot of the footpath, they will actually have cycle lanes marked out for the bikes to ride in, and the pedestrians just walk in them. They've got twice as much space out of the bike lane, but they walk in the bike lane, which means the bikes have to come out of the bike lane into where the pedestrians should be. It's just creating conflict that shouldn't be there. Yeah, that gets up my nose a little bit, but again, it's not my world to complain. I was going to go over to the footpath there to cross the lights at the footpath, but There's too many people in there already. We'll stick out this way. Which way are we going to? Yeah, we'll carry on straight down here. But yeah, the bike, back to the sort of review of the bike sort of thing. The bike is actually really good. Oh, there's another thing. Having a bike here, it is a legal requirement that you wear a helmet. And you see the people in front of me here, no helmets. Most people here don't wear helmets. In fact, just looking, we've got two more electric bikes coming up behind us. They're going to go past us. No helmets on them either. So, a lot of people don't wear helmets. It is a legal requirement, but they don't. I'm not going to get upset about that. I don't really care. But the police on occasion do. And they will occasionally, they'll set up on a corner somewhere, especially during rush hour, and they'll be stopping all the bikes that go past. If you don't have a license plate on your bike, they'll confiscate your bike. If you're not wearing a helmet, you don't really get fines or anything, but they will tell you get off your bike, either put a helmet on or get off your bike and push it. So people will get off their bike, they'll push their bike 50 meters up the road past the police and then jump back on their bike and just continue on as they were. They don't pay a whole lot of attention. Yes, very, very authoritarian here, aren't they? Nobody pays any attention to it. I don't understand the people who have a bike hanging off their seat and they don't wear it. That's to me just crazy. That's, just safety. Put a helmet on your head. Keep yourself safe if you do have an accident. Because I always say with bikes, it doesn't matter whether you're in the right. If you get hit, you're the one coming off worst. What lights we got? Are we going the other way first? What else can we tell you about riding around here? No helmet again. I just don't. Helmets cost nothing here. The other ones that get me is the people who do wear a helmet, but they're carrying 2 or 3 kids on their bike with them. No helmets on their kids. If it was me and I only had the one helmet, I'd be putting a helmet on my child before I worried about the helmet going on me. But different attitudes here. I don't actually know the law around passengers. Maybe passengers don't have to wear a helmet. It's only the rider that has to wear a helmet. I'm not sure. I would have to check that. You do see, 3, 4, 5. I've seen up to 5 people on one of these electric bikes. I'm dubious about carrying one person on the bike with me. I don't think I've ever had a pillion passenger on this bike. I've been on the back of other people's bikes. I try and avoid that. I don't like being on the back of motorbikes, any type of bikes. 2 wheels is dangerous enough. Putting that extra weight on and not being in control myself, I really don't like it. I don't like being on the back of a motorbike. Happy to ride motorbikes, but not happy to be on the back of them at all. So would I recommend a bike, electric bike? Depends on where you are. If you are somewhere like, Guangzhou, Shenzhen, which are bigger places, but have really good metro and stuff, a bike's maybe not so necessary. not having lived in those places, I could be wrong, I don't know. You'd want to talk to one of the people who live in those places. Oh, we've got a green light in front of us. Can we get up there quickly and make it before it changes? Let's scoot along here as quick as we can. Yes, we've made it. Beautifully done. A place like Jiaoqing, I would recommend an electric bike. Because you don't have the metro and stuff. You only really have the bus service, which the bus service, don't get me wrong, it is good. But, you know, there are times when you want to go somewhere and it might mean 2 or 3 different buses to get where you're going, and that can be a pain. You know, you do have Didi's and all that other stuff. There's plenty of other ways to get around the place if need be. So a bike is not essential. But if you're going to be here, you know, for more than a year, you know, maybe up to a year, maybe it's not worth buying a bike. But if you're going to be here for more than a year, I would recommend getting an electric bike. Like I say, you do have to get them licensed. That costs, I think it was $100 to get my bike licensed. $100 a year. In fact, I'll have to check with Frankel because I'll have to get it redone. So Frankel did my bike license for me. You do have to, a person here can only license one bike. So you do have to find someone who doesn't already have an electric bike to license your bike for you. Which, as cars are getting more common, a lot more people don't have electric bikes, although there are still lots of electric bikes here. So what was the name of that viewer? I think it was Warren something. I hope I've answered some of your questions. We're going to finish up there because we're almost up at the shops here. We're actually going to go do some shopping and yeah, get some stuff for dinner and whatnot for tonight. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed that. If you have, hit that like button, share with friends, subscribe. If you have any questions or comments, hit us up down there in the comment section. If you have anything you would like to learn about life here in China, Guangdong, Jiaoqing, again, hit us up down there in the comment section. If you come up with a good idea, we'll go away, do a video for you, and yeah, hopefully help you learn a bit more about what life here is like. Thanks for watching, everybody. Stay safe, and we will see you all in the next one. Cheers.